Hey, so my guest today is Helery. Hey, Helery, how are you?
Hi, Victoria. How do I say? I am scared and excited in an equal measure.
Okay, no need to be scared. I'm sure this is gonna be fine. So tell me, where are you right now?
Currently, I am in Italy, in the north of Italy, in a small town called Bassano del Grappa. So, whenever I need to explain that to my friends, I always say it's about an hour, drive by train
Uh-huh.
from Venice. And then they kind of
Okay.
put it on the map. Aha,
All right,
okay.
so you get an idea. Yeah, that is always very, very helpful. But where are you from originally? Because I hear an accent.
Originally, I am from Estonia and actually from the biggest island of Estonia, what is called Saaremaa.
Okay. See, I didn't even know they're islands.
We have around 2,000 islands.
Oh
Obviously, none of
wow,
them
so
are
many.
where people live, but yes, there are a lot of islands.
But you know what? Because like in Germany, you also have so many islands, and I'm always sure that people are not aware that there are so many islands in Germany as well.
True story.
Probably right. I don't think we have 2,000, but I think they're like 20, like 27 or like more. Okay, I'm,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I have to check this, but there are definitely islands.
Yeah.
Okay, so why did you want to leave Estonia?
Well, I think this story already goes back to the high school time, but I guess my first I think my sister, she was the one that I have an older sister, and nowadays she lives in Athens, in Greece. And
Uh-huh.
when I was young, she was always traveling. She was taking part of those Erasmus projects, and she
Right.
was going. And I thought, well, if she could go, why I couldn't go? And I remember that in high school, I had this study abroad idea. I would like to study abroad, and I started to search for different opportunities. It was quite expensive, and this idea just kind of stayed in my mind until I was
Mhm.
in the university. I was studying tourism and hospitality. It
Oh,
was
I
the
did that
last
too.
year. Really?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
And I was thinking that, okay, it's my last year. If I'm not going to go now, I will never go. And I remember that I started to search for the partner universities that we had, and they were in Finland and they were in Latvia. And one was also in Spain. So Latvia and Finland, they are both our neighbor countries.
Yeah,
And I thought, okay, so if I'm going to do something once in a lifetime, I'm not going to go to a neighbor country to
you're
do
right,
like,
right. You need to go further.
I should go further. And I discovered one Finnish company that was sending students to study in Asia. And I thought, okay, one of the universities that they were offering, it was in Thailand, in the island of Phuket. And
Uh-huh.
I thought, okay, study tourism, why not to do that in
Thailand, sure.
one of the most like popular
Touristy
tourism
places,
destinations.
yeah. Yeah.
And I was actually the very first Estonian who went there to study in the island of Phuket. And I think this was something that definitely, started this idea to live abroad. I really enjoyed my semester. I stayed there longer to even work there. I got
Okay,
back home, and we could say that definitely this was the start of the let's study abroad, and it made me curious to discover more countries
right.
because
How long did you then, stay in Estonia until you went away again?
I think I got back. I finalized my studies, and then it
Uh-huh.
was about a year and a half, and I moved to Finland.
Okay.
So yeah, then that was a next stop.
Okay. So how many stops?
Well, that was my next stop, and then there was Spain. So after
Mhm.
Finland, I went to Spain, and after being in Spain about I think 4 years, now I am in Italy.
Okay. And how long were you in Finland?
In Finland, 2.5 years. It was something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Was that because it's also, like, geographically closer to you? Was that
Mhm.
similar?
It was definitely similar. I think the work culture, there are some differences.
Mhm.
Estonians are considered very direct people. So I think that was something I noticed that people might not say all the things so flat out to your face there.
Okay.
So that definitely there was some differences I saw in my experience. But otherwise, it's only 80 kilometers from Estonia. So,
Yeah, it's close.
the climate is very similar. They are much more
Mhm.
mountainous. Our tallest mountain, like mountain, is 328 meters.
Yeah,
So,
wow, okay, yes, alright.
so definitely the nature, the culture. There are like a lot of
Mhm.
like there's those small things that are different that you understand. You're not staying in Estonia, but then again, it's not like I went somewhere where I would be like, oh, that's a massive culture shock or something like that.
Right, right. And then how since when are you in Italy?
I've been here now almost 2 years.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's ask, so are you still working in the tourism sector that you are still traveling around so much? Or, so what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. So this year in April, I actually started my own business. And
Mhm.
it was a very like long dream for me that I finally decided to make come true. And it's connected with foreigners as well because
Uh-huh.
well, it's something where my first-hand experience comes. And I help foreigners to find a job in a new country because it's something that I have done myself while I have been living in those countries. And I really love marketing. I really like writing. And I think I have this good eye to find opportunities. And also, I'm a believer. I think that you can do that. And, mindset matters a lot in the job searching. And I do have this mindset that, okay, you have a dream. Let's sit down and let's think how you could move forward towards that.
Mhm. And what is the business? Because I think it's also very helpful for expats in general.
Yes, so the business is called Ferrera Hilary. Helery is my name, and Ferrera, it means a lighthouse keeper in Spanish.
Mhm.
And the story is actually a very personal one. So, yes, the part of helping people to find a job, help them to, write better CVs and motivation letter. This is something, again, that I felt that I like to do voluntarily when I was in the high school and in the
Uh-huh.
university, because I just saw that I had a lot of great friends. And whenever they wrote their CVs, like their personality and those traits that actually set them off from the crowd got like lost in those empty sentences. And I thought, like,
Uh-huh.
when I'm reading this document, it's just the person that I know, it's completely different, like they're selling themselves short or something
Yes.
like that. And as I
Yes.
liked writing, I liked marketing, I just started to help them, and I saw positive results. I saw that they started to get to the interviews. I helped them to prepare for the interviews, and well, they
Mhm.
finally got a job. So this
Yeah.
part of helping with the writing and marketing, this has been like long time in me. But if going on my website, the first thing that comes up, there's a girl with a lighthouse. And this has a personal story behind. First of all, it's no image bank photo. It's actually drawn by my sister.
Mhm.
And the lighthouse and the lighthouse keeper, well, when I was living in Spain, I was only 33. I was 29 years old when my fiancé, who was back in the days 33 years old, he passed away. It
No.
was a sudden death, and it came completely unexpected. Like nobody
Yeah.
expected that. It just
Yes.
happened
No.
overnight, and with the seconds, my life was just
Changed.
completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different, changed. I was living abroad, and I never felt that I want to go back to home, though. I felt that I want to
Mhm.
keep being in Spain. I was very lucky that I had a very good circle of friends around me,
Mhm.
because with him together we had been organizing language exchange event every
Uh-huh.
Wednesday for almost year and a half. And thanks
Okay.
to organizing this event, we managed to have a small circle of group of people
Yeah.
who liked what we were doing. They
Yeah.
kept coming and coming. So definitely they were one of the biggest supporters, aside of
Mhm.
my family also, who at that time, of course,
Yeah.
came there to be with me. But they were always there for me.
Mhm.
And then I felt that his name was Enrique, and I felt like he was like this lighthouse in my life. Because I think if you move abroad and you have spouse, boyfriend, partner from another culture and country, it's very easy in the very beginning to start to lean on that person language
Yeah.
wise, or you maybe start to rent a flat. Oh, you know how to do those internet provider
Yeah,
things,
sure.
this
And you can show me
electricity.
around where the good things are. Like,
Exactly. And
yeah, of
you
course.
don't really need to use your own mind so much, because even in the beginning, when it's all those signings, the agreements of the contracts,
Yeah,
they can't, of course, translate, but well, easier is that you trust this person, like put
right.
your signature here, it's done. So a lot of things were also, I was just trusting. He was like this lighthouse in my life, like showing me where to go, how to be. And I felt that it collapsed, and I need to
Yeah.
build myself a lighthouse. And I understood also that we need to have that in our life, something what is guiding us and showing us where to go. That at the end of the day, yeah, like, do I say that you can count only on yourself? Yes and no, but you need to be like the one, you know.
Right. Were you at that time, were you like, did you feel like then extra lost? Because like if he was like showing you how things are done, like how to feel comfortable,
Mhm.
and all these things, um were you like thinking like, what now? I mean, like, of course, like, he passed away, but I mean, just
Mhm.
on top of that.
Well, I was very lucky that the same friends that I mentioned before from this language exchange event, there was one girl, Lourdes, she was Spanish. And already on the very first week, she told me that let's go to the psychiatrist. And
Mhm.
actually, I was happy because I was also like, well, somebody needs to explain me what has happened,
Yeah.
because I was thinking in my mind, this is not normal. I remember thinking a lot, this is not normal. This is not normal. Things like that happens with
Yeah.
others. They
Right.
shouldn't happen with
Yes.
me. Like, how come something like that happened with
Yeah.
me? So I think what I did very correctly when I'm looking back to that time was that I started with this professional help, that I didn't
Mhm.
stay somewhere in home just, crying, what of course is a natural part of it. But
Yeah.
I was not afraid to say no to a professional help.
Mhm.
Then I remember that when somebody would ask me, what do you do now? The only thing that I was able to answer was that, well, something what I know for sure is that I have my language exam, the B2 Spanish exam. I have
Mhm.
that. So it was kind of a common goal, I think. But when I was in Spain, obviously I started to learn the language, so I was studying Spanish, and I was also preparing for the exam.
Mhm.
So he passed on in April, and my exam was scheduled for July.
Okay.
So I remember when he passed, I contacted my Spanish teacher. I had a private teacher helping me to prepare for the exams. And I said that, look, he was also a very wanted teacher. And I said, please don't give away my spot to anybody. This is what has happened right now in my life. I'm not sure when can I return, but I want to return and I want to make this exam happen.
Mhm.
So after 2 weeks, I returned and I started to keep going with my practices for the exam. So whenever somebody asked me, do you know what is now about to happen, or what's going to happen with your life, or do you go back to Estonia? All I was kind of able to say, I have my language exam. This is the furthest event
This
in my
is
life that I can currently tell you. I don't know
yes.
much more what's going to happen,
Right,
you
yeah.
know? So yeah, this was like for a long time. I remember this is my next event. Let's see what happens after that.
Okay, and then, how was it after you had your language exam?
Oh, I remember the language exam. Also, normally when you have the part when you need to talk with those natives, when they evaluate your part of
Uh-huh.
the talking,
Yes.
and normally, people, of course, they are scared of the topics they might get, and later how they can elaborate that, and
Mhm.
also the most I was afraid of the ice breaking question. Why are you here? Why are you in Spain?
Uh-huh.
Because I was thinking,
'Cause
should I lie? That, yeah, well, I moved to Spain because I love, Spain is so cool
right, right,
country. The
yes.
climate is so nice and I just wanted to come here. Or do I say the truth? Why
Uh-huh.
am I here? Because I would have never ended up in this country without Enrique.
Yes.
So I remember that I was thinking a lot, what do I do? And I felt if I'm going to lie, that's going to put me an unnecessary pressure. because then I need to kind of like think about my lie there, what I'm gonna say there.
Yeah,
And I
and then
remember
what's the next question is, you know?
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And I remember I went there and I was just honest and I said, look, yeah, today I'm here in the exam. The reason why I'm here is in Spain is this, but obviously I'm not here today to talk about it. So I just wanted to mention. But I passed my exam. And I think this is one of the proudest moments in my life as well, that I never know what would have been like my score if everything would have been normal. But I passed,
You
and it was
passed,
like
yes.
also a couple of points like over the minimum. So it wasn't that, oh, you passed only with the minimum or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
But I was still like, I passed, and it was something in the situation to, in April he passed away, and in July I'm making the exam. I was pretty proud of that.
How much longer did you stay in Spain after that?
Well, then let's say that my mindset, I felt that, well, to stay in Sevilla, I'm not so sure about that. We had actually
Mhm.
together, also thought that maybe we could change the city because Sevilla is definitely one of the most beautiful
Hold on,
cities.
hold on. We had just can you repeat that? Because I it got totally cut off. Sorry, just the
Yeah.
last.
The last
Uh-huh.
that we had thought about actually together also to move to other cities. That 100%, if I think back to the time, Sevilla is one of the most beautiful cities where I have ever lived. But the summers are very hot. They can
Mhm.
go 47 degrees in
Oh,
August. And it's only like a lifestyle under the air conditioner, unless you have a second residence at the beach, and then you divide your
right.
lifestyle or something like that. And I thought about another city. I thought about Valencia,
Mhm.
what is also a very beautiful city in Spain. And
Mhm.
I thought that, okay, fine. What if I start to search for a job in Valencia?
Mhm.
And I found it. I got a new job in January 2020, and we all know what happened in
Yeah.
March 2020. So, in the
Yes.
moment, let's say when I was ready to, like lift up my head to go to a next
Mm.
place, and
You
I,
got
I
knocked
felt that
down.
this is the place. It's next to the sea. It's very
Yeah.
beautiful. I have an amazing big park where I could go and run, do the sports. And then COVID happened. So
Right.
this is also something what I say a lot of times to the people that I work together with, who are saying like, look, I would like to go to this country, but I'm making all those big plans, and sometimes I say you can make a lot of plans. Everything could feel like in your
Mhm.
paper, you put those
Yeah.
cons and pros, and then you just go, and like they say that in Greek, the gods are laughing where human are making plans,
Right, right,
right?
right. Yeah.
So yeah, this happened with me as well then. So I continued for a while in the job, but it was also tourism related, and I just
Oh,
felt that
yeah. That was hard.
it
Not the
wasn't
best sector
yeah.
to be in.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, and then fast forward, because like no, actually, we talked about your business right now, and then we drifted off. So
Yeah.
let's just come back to that point real quick. So
Yeah.
you have with the CVs.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So this is actually something what I enjoy a lot, to help people with their CVs. Why? Because the way I help them, I really sit down with people, and it's a good 1 hour and a half, and I'm helping them to understand those cool things that people actually have done. And normally the story that comes out, I learn so much about different like sectors, different jobs, and then you can actually also start to see what people have been doing. But
Uh-huh.
sometimes they might be thinking, that's not worth to mention. That's a normal
Right,
thing
right.
that I did in the work, or they just don't have maybe this art of putting the words in this good, strong way on the
Mhm.
paper, what also like
Mhm.
holds them down. But of course, nowadays, another side, what do I see is our dear ChatGPT. So
Oh, yeah,
there's a
yeah, of
lot of
course.
CVs, of course, that all just sound the same,
Sound the
and
same, yes.
there is something that carries over from there, is that not only the CVs are ChatGPT made, but also when job seekers are networking, they do their messages with ChatGPT. And if you don't find this point of when you network with somebody, and you just go with some template story,
Right.
it can only take you so far.
Yeah,
There's
no, like, there is no connection at all. I mean, like, I mean, okay, for a CV, I can understand because it's so hard for me to like, I'm like one of the persons, like, I don't know how to brag about myself. I have
Mm-hmm.
like no idea like how to put all the things in words, like why
Mm-hmm.
somebody should hire me. I
Mm-hmm.
find
Mm-hmm.
this is so hard.
True story, exactly like you said that the bragging, and actually it's not bragging, it's saying honestly what you have been doing, but
I
always
know.
like I think the hardest is to talk about yourself. It's so easy to talk about the others or help them to kind of bring out the good parts, but
Positive, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
but but
Uh-huh.
when you think about yourself, then kind of something happens, like. So this is something, and I love also those job seekers who have big dreams, but sometimes what holds them back the most is the low self esteem. I had one
Uh,
example of one guy whose background is strongly only hospitality, sorry. And his dream was to be an IT developer. So
mhm.
in his 30s, with no job experience, no education, but then some skills and some things that you could actually carry over, a strong like will to learn, to develop. And I truly enjoy to be helping people like that, because a lot of times they just need a helping hand. They need somebody who helps them,
Mhm.
like, to believe in themselves a little bit even more, and
Mhm.
somebody who also says that you can, because in the job search, mindset matters. If you have a
Yeah,
person
yeah,
who will
yeah.
say, well, no, this is impossible in this city, no, 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 nobody will find anything,
Right.
you know
Unfortunately, you will find this a lot.
So, one day I was actually thinking, they say that it heavily depends what kind of people are around you, because you kind of become a similar, or you're,
Right.
and I was
Sure, you're a
thinking
mirror
about,
of that. Yeah.
and I was thinking that more you have people who actually believe that, yes, you can,
Uh-huh.
it's the same. Like, imagine you are talking with all those people around the world, and now somebody would say, and yes, but I know this is like that. I spoke with my friend, and you would be like, yeah, but, I'm speaking around, people around the world, and they say that it could be done. You could move, you could build your life
Yeah.
again in another country. So, mindset is definitely something that unfortunately holds back a lot of job seekers as well.
Yes. Oh, and then also just coming back to that, uh, making like messaging somebody through like AI already,
Yeah.
those like whatever those already
This is actually,
preset messages.
yeah, and I see examples even with myself. It was last week or a couple of weeks ago when I got one message from one guy from Colombia who had been reading my blog. He was like super into Estonia. He was able to name me some writers from Estonia, and I was like, wow. And he said that, look, I'm considering to move there, not yet, but I'm kind of like, maybe, we could connect. I really like your blog. I like your story behind everything, and I can understand that the person has done their homework. They
Yeah.
have come to my site, they have looked around, and they kind of know what they are talking. And then there is another message. Hello, I'm like, I don't know, just very ChatGPT general story, that you can
Mhm.
understand that this message is just sent to everybody. And this is what marks the difference in a networking as well. And I think sometimes people are kind of scared about the time they should now invest to do it well. And I'm bringing an example that I have been sometimes sitting down hours. I'm going to listen some podcasts to understand what those people might talk about their company, the goals, the missions. I'm going to go to their website, read them, read some blogs, but I try to find this like common ground to build up my question, not just send some kind of a ChatGPT template. And I don't say that, oh, if you send that, no answer will come. Of course, it could come. It can still come, but just your odds are much more higher if you have this personality included.
Yes, of course. And also, like, you don't forget what you said versus you just like click a button,
Yeah.
And then it's like it doesn't mean anything.
It's like this easy apply. I'm always saying, well, you can do it, but it's like sending your CV to a moon. Like,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
the fact that somebody will, because I don't remember, it was maybe last year when I was participating in one conference, and there were HRs also talking about this easy apply. And one said that, look, we actually in our company start to look those CVs as the very last option, because these people had invested the least effort. Why would we like to have people working like that for us? you know
Mhm.
they haven't put in any effort, just one click, that's it.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, yeah.
so also the fact that you send something through easy apply might also mean that you are just in some kind of a group who will never even get evaluated.
Right. It probably depends what kind of job you want. I mean, like, if you just want to do the cashier's job at Aldi, you can do the just click. But
And
if you want,
good point, because I was doing also an interview, because when I was in Spain studying the language, I was working as a waitress,
uh-huh.
to build up my language and put it in the practice. And of course, the level that I had in the language didn't correspond then to the jobs I could have in my home
Right.
country, right?
Right, right.
So it was like a stepping point. And I was doing an interview with my old boss who runs this very cool arcade bar in Sevilla. And they had received to their last opening a single waitress position, 3,000 applications.
Oh my God.
And
Yes.
my interview was to like understand how a foreigner could even like shine out among the
Right. Yes, yes.
3,000 like people. It's a lot.
Right. And so is that what you're doing then in which language?
I do it in Estonian, in English, and also in Spanish. So I help mostly people with the CV, with the motivation letter, with the LinkedIn, and then also the job search. How we're gonna start? What is your goal? What is the way? And some then also depending on the package, I might give them the leads, the companies, the people they could start to contact. So together we can also look over their networking approach that I will
Mhm.
actually help them to sound themselves, but yeah, not to sound like ChatGPT. Let's
And
say like
this
that.
is but and this is especially for people who moved from abroad?
Yes, I'm specialized in foreigners because I feel that foreigners do need to put an extra effort when they are searching for a job abroad. It's not always so easy
Mhm.
because, let's start even from the fact that the companies you have worked for, unless they are, I don't know, big, well known
Yeah,
companies, they might not say anything to your new employer.
right.
Your university, unless again it's very well known, maybe it's,
Right, nobody
one of.
knows it. Yes. Yeah, just for example, like I have a friend here. She
Mhm,
studied in Poland in one of the best universities,
mhm.
and nobody knows it. You know? It's like, "Oh, yeah, never heard of it." And that doesn't mean anything.
It's actually one of the common obstacles that I remember that many job seekers come and say, "Look, this university opened doors for me in my home country. It was,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know this university, the people who come from there, and now I'm in a new place and nobody knows." And
Yeah.
then obviously we have the language barrier, because if the local language is needed and you don't speak it, it will always just put you in the end of the queue. Of course, there are a lot of, like, nowadays you could have a remote work still, or you can have more, I don't know, national international company, but still to be like inside the country, I'm always saying that you need to speak the language. It just opens so many more doors to you.
Yes. Yes, because you also wrote something about language integration, and you also had that language, meetup in
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
language meetup, that was very fun because I helped people to practice languages to different games. So I remember when I moved to Spain, I started to go by myself those language exchange events. And
Mhm.
I went there. Some of them were very drinking related.
Yeah.
Then a lot of times I just felt that people kind of just, came together but didn't have any activities. So it was always the
Uh-huh.
same story. You're going to get your class. Hi, how are you? Why are you
Mm,
here? Always the same thing.
it
And
gets boring, right?
it gets boring. And then I
Yes.
thought, well, I have a degree in hospitality, right? So why not to do something that people feel welcomed? Maybe it's more for a smaller group. And there are some activities you could do as well at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So I started to organize different ice-breaking games, and it helped people to kind of, mix and mingle with different people. And also for me, it was helping to get used with different accents, the way also you
Oh,
hear the
yeah.
language. And nowadays, yes, in my blog that I really, like I mentioned before, I love to write. I like
Uh-huh.
to research. This is something that already back in the middle school I was writing research works.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
very nerdy.
my Fridays were spent in the libraries.
Oh,
I
wow.
remember that.
Nice.
And I'm also 90s kid, so then it was not going to some Google and just finding a lot of stuff in the internet. It was like
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
those old newspapers that you needed to open those big folders and start to write by yourself down the information
Uh-huh.
from there. So yeah, the language part definitely interests me because I can see how it has opened doors to myself when I was living in Spain.
Yeah. But language integration is super important so that you can also connect with the local people
Hmm.
and find a job and also understand the culture better.
Exactly. And I was running a survey this year in May, and it was
Mhm.
called Between Two Worlds, What Living Abroad Really Looks Like.
Yeah.
So I think I came to an idea just to ask honest questions from other expats because there were some like challenges I was facing by myself, and I wanted to feel do people actually feel the same
The
way.
same, yeah.
And
Okay.
I was asking 79 people from 24 different nationalities across 19 different countries.
Uh-huh. How
And I
did you
wanted
find those people? Did you just
uh,
post on Reddit or I don't
on
know.
Reddit, it was posted. Then I remember that it just started different Facebook expat groups, also asking help from my friends that I
Uh-huh.
know. So basically, that's how it started to
Okay.
get forward and forward.
Mhm.
And in that survey, I also asked, like, what is the one of the biggest challenges of living abroad? And
Mhm.
learning the language was number one that the people
Okay. Yes.
actually put out.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that was also where the language was
Okay.
mentioned.
What else was mentioned that people don't always see on social media because
Hmm.
everybody always expect all the positives, like, oh, you're always on vacation,
Hmm.
you have fun all the time. So but what did people really say?
That's true. That's exactly that. Nowadays in social media, we can kind of create all our
Yeah,
narrative,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it was like today when I was having this glue wine with my boyfriend in the morning, and I thought like, oh, well, we went to the Christmas market, and I said like, well, I could just every day post those nice pictures where I'm
Yeah.
sipping some Aperol Spritz or like La
Yeah,
Dolce
yeah, yeah.
Vita, just to
Yeah.
like create even in the moments when not everything is, I don't know, I'm not in a good mood or whatsoever. So what I felt that people were answering, they were really giving me those honest feedback in
Mhm.
the survey. And for instance, one of the questions was like, do your friends back home truly understand how your life looks like? 80% of those expats said that no. They all think that it's a vacation, that I'm very rich when I'm living abroad, I have a lot of money to spend, my life is
Uh-huh.
very interesting, it's kind of like a carefree holiday.
Mhm.
So that's like the big difference that, yeah, I think people with a life abroad, they kind of associate this holiday experiences, but it's a real life. It's just in another country that puts another layer of, hard parts to your life. And then people said that, and if you start to complain about that, then it kind of feel that, well, go back to your home country, right? Like that's
Right,
always
right.
the favorite answer to everything. If you complain, go back home.
Yeah.
So then they said that it's it's kind of tough because when you might feel that those hard parts are really hard, and then yeah, who do you say about that? Then what was also something interesting that people said, a lot of them, that they don't feel home, not here, not there.
Mhm.
After living for a while, you don't fit in anymore to your home country,
Yeah.
but you are not part of this new place either, because there
Yes.
always will be some differences and
Yes.
things that you don't feel exactly home. And when you go back home, there the life is so different. The friends have been doing all their life has been going like in a stable way, while you
Uh-huh.
have been in another place, searching for a flat, starting from zero, building your social life, all these kind of things. And last question, what really made me like smile, what I really enjoyed to read, was when people said that names. I asked them to name something you are most proud of during your time when living abroad. And people said things like, I'm most proud of getting from point A to point B without Google Maps. I'm very proud that
Okay.
when my I don't know, when my wife gave birth, I was able to be in the hospital to talk with the nurses to help with the birth certificate.
Uh-huh.
I
In
was
the other language.
Yeah, to go to
Uh-huh.
the local cafeteria and order a coffee. And then I thought that these are exactly those things that when you are in your home country, they're always taken by default, because
Yeah.
if I'm in home, why should I be happy if I get from point A to point B without
Yeah.
Google?
Or like, how do I order like a bread at the bakery? you know?
That I go and I ask for a coffee. Well, yeah, but what is so special about it? But those small moments, they become. Because if you don't know the language, they will require, like, you need to have this courage inside you. You need to
Yeah.
be ready that maybe you don't know exactly how to say that. Then, sometimes you might blush, you might feel scared. And it all requires this breaking those little barriers.
Where can people find your blog?
They can find it on my website, so
Mhm.
ferrerahilary.com. And there is my blog where you can have a job search advice, language learning, life abroad. And also, I have
Uh,
this category, it's called a message in a bottle. So there are very short stories, like 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh,
So
nice.
also for
Yes.
people who don't have a lot of time to read,
Uh-huh.
maybe they just want to have a little quick, good inspirational story, they can also go there.
All right. I'll make sure that you will also, the listener, you will find it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Um, but I just wanted to add something because I had this when you reminded me of something. Like, I have this friend here. She's American,
Mm-hmm.
and I know her for a long time. We met like 15 years ago, and so and I live in the States for, I don't know, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever, when I whatever go out, I just put my hair like in a bun, but not like up here,
Mm-hmm.
not on top of my head, but just put it in the back. And she always says like, here in America, we wear our hair like more up there. And I'm always like, I live in America for like 13 years. Like, why do you talk to me like I am a foreigner? Like,
Yeah.
I know, I can see what's going on around me. I know how people are wearing their hair. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not I'm not just a visitor here. I always get really offended.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know?
That you feel that you're not a tourist anymore.
Yeah,
This time is come.
and then exactly, and then my friend tells me like, uh, I'm behaving like a tourist, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, I don't know. It's just weird because like, why don't you see that I live here for whatever 10 plus years and I adapted?
Mm-hmm.
But like, to you, I have not. I don't know. Just because my hair is different. I don't know.
No, yeah, yeah, I even think about the fact when you go to a new country and people start to think, but what do you think about the food, or what do you think about this? The locals kind of ask those questions, and in the very beginning, I might try everything. I might try all those
Yeah.
food stuff, and but then I will develop an opinion, and I will
Yeah,
start to
yeah,
say,
yeah,
look,
exactly.
this is good, this is not, this is something from my home country, like for instance dinner time. In Spain it should start like 8:30, 8 o'clock. If you go
Uh-huh.
to a restaurant 7 o'clock, there are only tourists we are
Yes.
talking about the evening time. And even in Italy it's more like on the later time. But
Mhm.
for me, this is something, I'm an Estonian here, I want to eat like around 7 o'clock,
Right,
and I will
right.
not adapt to the local country. Of
Yes,
course,
yes,
if I
yeah,
go out with
yeah.
my friends,
Yeah,
then
exactly,
yeah.
same thing. Like, you're just because, like, you don't adapt to everything,
Mm-hmm.
you still should feel like you're there for a long time and not be a tourist.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's just a little bit frustrating. There are always these moments.
No, no, there are. I think even like I went to this trivia a couple of weeks ago, and when you take pizza, then normally I like to take it with a wine. And then the friend of mine said that's very touristic because Italians take pizza with a soda or with a beer. The wine is really from the movies or something. But I was like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I like to have it with a wine.
Yeah, yeah. 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 Let's talk about your life in Italy now.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you decided to move to Italy?
So I was in Spain, and I was living, well, I think everything was kind of nice, but I was working and I felt that it's not exactly the work maybe that I would like to continue doing. And it was a summer, it was 2023, if I'm not wrong. And my now boyfriend.
Mhm.
He came to visit me, and we know actually each other already for a long time, for 10 years, but always just been chatting a little
Sure.
bit online, nothing more. And I don't know, he came, and well, there kind of was something up in the air that started to develop and go forward. And we decided then at one point, after visiting each other, that either he comes from Italy to be with me in Spain, or I go and be with him in Italy.
Okay.
And I decided that, well, I've been moving in my life, when we were considering also all this little, like moving from one flat to another and so on. I've been moving around like I think 20 times.
Oh,
So
wow.
for
Okay.
me, the moving is just, let's make the boxes. I
Another
know I
one.
need to
Sure.
go to the bakery to get the boxes, to tape
Yeah,
them
yeah,
well,
yeah.
to put my stuff inside. There's always something I need to give up and throw away, although they are in a very perfect condition. And you pack your things and you go to another country. And I think in Europe also, inside the European Union is easier as
Yeah.
well. And well, then yeah, I decided to move here to Italy and be here. And my life, I think it's pretty like in a way like a homeboy life, because I've been like dedicating a lot of time to my company. So
Mhm.
definitely, working with a computer online, I'm also being home a lot of time.
Mhm.
So I have my friends, small circle of friends. Been learning the language. We take, this classical thing to go hiking from somewhere, visiting other cities as well.
Uh-huh.
My sister, my mom has been visiting me here as
Yeah.
well. So I think, if I'm like honest, Spain will always have a very, very special place in my heart.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it was a very, very different experience, what I experienced from there.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel that maybe I am unfair towards Italy. If I compare the food, I'm like, yeah, but in Spain I have those tapas and those things, and I know where I could
Uh-huh.
go.
Okay.
And there is sometimes like this inner fight or something like that.
Mhm.
But overall, I think it's a calm, normal life going on in
Yeah.
here.
Tell me about your language process in
Uh,
Italian.
Italian language learning.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's very different than it was with Spanish, because, yeah, coming from Estonia, it's a small country, it's 1.3 million people. So already since you're a kid, you start to learn languages. In the
Mhm.
kindergarten, you start with English, you move forward with, normally the Russian comes on the fifth grade, then maybe
Uh-huh.
there's some German and so on. So Spanish was my very first, like I'd never studied anything. So everything started from zero. But with Italian, there is suddenly similarities with Spanish. You
Yeah,
know, it,
exactly.
it,
That's
it,
what I
it,
thought. Yeah.
it's something that I felt that I kind of need to study that, and I kind of don't need to. It's like by default, I already understand something.
Mhm.
So, and on the other hand, I had this heavy experience of learning Spanish. And because I was really studying it with a very strong interest, I was
Mhm.
reading a lot of books. There was nobody never telling to me, you need to study that. It was all like my own motivation. In that matter, I was like a teacher pet, the one who always
Yeah.
wants to do the home tasks, who is always prepared and ready. And with Italian, it was different. It's something is a little bit different in there. That, as I say, Spanish and Spain always have this special part in me.
Mhm. And how did you I don't know, like I would just say like how do you like the Italian culture? But like just not how I want to phrase it. It's
Yeah.
like how do you adapt to the Italians? Or is it like or like I mean you already had a partner,
Mm-hmm.
so like how did you had like any clashes or did you like did you just blend in right there or
Yeah. I think I should. This question. I think it's a difficult question. Also, I think the blend in was kind of like normal. That I cannot like recall any like big cultural shocks, or it was all, I think, thanks to more the Spanish, like being in one Mediterranean country already.
Mhm.
Because, for instance, when I went to Spain, I remember that, coming from Estonia, when you go out with somebody or you meet, and they will tell you, okay, so next time let's meet somewhere. And you would be like, okay, so what day and, what time? And in Spain, everybody would be, yeah, next time let's meet somewhere and let's
Uh-huh.
do it. And then you understand that this next time never comes, you know?
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah, yeah, okay.
everybody are like so, talking with you, the small talk that doesn't exist at all in Estonia. And
Mhm.
for me, beginning, that was more like hard to understand. So when somebody's actually want to be friend with me, when are they just nice with me, what is really going
Right.
on? And there was also this proverb kind of running around that in Sevilla, where I was living, that everybody invite you to their home, nobody
Mhm.
tells you the address. So
Oh, yeah.
it was
Oh, yeah, yeah, come over.
so
Where?
exactly. So this is, I think, a little bit what I see in here also, that people just ask. Just a couple of days ago, I was coming home. I saw my neighbor, and it's just like, "Hi, how are you?" And I've been like the past week, I've been a bit ill, and I passed by past her, and I said, "Well, I've been ill." Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we see each other then. I said,
Okay,
I
that's
said,
it.
I'm
Yeah.
ill, like,
Did you not hear what I was saying? Yeah. All right. So they are showing less interest in you.
I don't know. I think it depends. Yeah, but definitely I cannot say anything bad, or that there are so big differences, or something like that.
Mhm.
No.
It's not like in the movies, where they, uh, I don't know, sound aggressive all the time when they're talking.
Uh, I think again, I got a good. I was living in the south of Spain, so I remember this was funny because back in the days I was living in Spain. I visited my sister in Greece, and we went out in Athens, where she lives. And I remember I said to her, "Oh wow, like in here it's so quiet in a restaurant." And she was turning to me and said, "This is quiet." I said, "I don't know if I compare that with the Spaniards.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
quiet." So I think again, like, do I really enjoy it when I need to shout over to somebody else who is in front of me when we are sitting
Yeah.
outside, and the table? No, I like when there is a calmer like environment. But again, I've been there, I've seen that, so it doesn't come too much of a shock.
Yeah, yeah. And so how is it for you, future-wise? Do you plan, or can you plan, to be longer in Italy? Or would you go back to Estonia, or would you move
Yeah.
somewhere else?
I think the things with the plans is that after this life experience, what I had, let's
Uh-huh.
say that it has been actually one of the very biggest challenges, how to find the balance again in the life. That
Mhm.
obviously you cannot live like a gypsy. That tomorrow I don't even know where I'm going to sleep, and where I'm going to get the money to pay the bills. But
Mhm.
on the other hand, I don't believe anymore so much as I believed back in the days to those big plans. Like,
Mhm.
let's gonna make a 5-year plan, and then we're gonna get there. Obviously there needs to be something, you need to have your goal, your dreams, your ideas. But I think right now, also considering what is going on in the world,
Yeah.
somehow step by step. Do I consider Bassano as the last like kind of destination, like now this is the place where I have found? No, I think it's still like somewhere to be in between. But yeah, I also don't have like a very next, like, I think right now what I like is just a stable calm to be somewhere. No,
Yeah.
it's also a
Yeah.
nice moment when you have been a lot like up and down, up and down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is also like a nice ending to our recording.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to mention again that people who moved abroad to reach out to you
Mm-hmm.
if they're having trouble writing a CV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they are searching for a job, if they want to just, they feel that they would like to have like this compass or something, a little bit understand towards where to go and what to do, or just even openly come and, talk. So this is, of course, possible always as well.
Yeah, maybe that's like a good indicator, um, where to start your search, or like how to start your search for
Yeah.
jobs abroad.
Yeah, exactly. How to start, how to prepare, how to make yourself those reality checks, even before going, what kind of homework you should do before going, and then deciding about the place, or what job opportunities there even could be available for you.
Yeah. All right. Well said. All right. Thank you very much. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Victoria, for inviting me. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.